Hey everybody, I'm Warren Dean. Welcome to another edition of the Edmonton Humane Society podcast. Fall has almost arrived. Summer vacations are over. Kids are back to school. Leaves are changing. We want to thank everybody who either came to visit us this summer, volunteered, donated, adopted a forever pet, and of course, came out to our events and took part. We look forward to seeing you this fall as well. Now, we have a special edition of the podcast coming up for you, and some of the things we're going to cover go as follows. We have a kitten that came to the EHS with an unwanted friend. We'll stop in at Bingo's like we always do and get your pet set for fall. And we introduce you to our brand new CEO. We're very proud to announce that Miranda Jordan-Smith is the brand new CEO of the Edmonton Humane Society, and here she is. Welcome, Miranda.
Thank you very much, Warren. It's an honor and a privilege.
So we're going to do things a little bit different here on the podcast. Miranda's going to be a bit of my co-host. We're going to go through the show. We're going to get to know her a little bit, ask her some questions, talk about accomplishments and the future of the Edmonton Humane Society. It's been a bit of a road getting to this point. You were named acting CEO in February. You got the job full-time with it, your name on the card, CEO in July. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's, like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to be named the new CEO of the EHS.
Let's talk about the appeal of the Edmonton Humane Society and what brought you here.
Sure. I intentionally sought out a position at the EHS last year. I love animals, and I was a former volunteer here. I decided to work for the EHS because my personal and professional values align with the organization's. That value congruence is very important to me. I believe in the work the EHS does. That's why I'm here.
Well, we're going to get to know Miranda a bit more throughout the show. We'll have more coming up. We want to take you to a story that's a bit of an unusual twist for our medical team, as we had a kitten came in with a bit of a friend, and it was an unwelcome friend.
This kitten came to us as a stray, so his history's not known, but we discovered a lump on the side of his belly, and inside the lump was this huge botfly larvae, which we had to remove. And this type of larvae migrates through their body and is not commonly found in cats or kittens. It's something more often seen in cattle, actually. So this was a very unusual finding. The kitten's wound here is healing really well. He's on some antibiotics. And he also came to the shelter with a wound to his chin, which is also healing quite well. He's a really friendly guy, and he's always purring. He will be available shortly after he's finished his stray hold if he's not reclaimed. The botfly lays eggs in the environment, such as on a blade of grass. The egg will hatch into a tiny maggot, and the maggot likely just adhered to him when he was passing by. And then it enters his body and migrates through his body, and from the inside out goes to his skin, which is where the botfly larvae formed and grew in size until finally we removed it. So that's quite the story. It would have eventually come out of the skin on its own. He's doing really well now. He's gaining weight, eating well. He had a bit of infected tissue surrounding the wound, and he's been on just a short course of antibiotics, and he's healing up really well. He's such a sweet kitten. I'm sure someone will adopt him and provide a good home.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And shelter pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Well, here at the Edmonton Humane Society, we do not perform declaws. There are a lot of other options to declawing. In many parts of the world, declawing by veterinarians is not permitted, and even in parts of Canada it's no longer permitted. Declawing is more of a surgery than some people think. It's not just removing the nail, but it's removing the first bone which is attached to the nail. So it's the first part of the digit that's removed. So of course that's a painful procedure. It's a pretty extreme surgery, and in most cases there's non-surgical alternatives to control the behavior. Here at the Humane Society, we will trim their nails, which will decrease their ability to cause damage. In terms of the alternatives, you can provide your cat a scratching post, which gives them the opportunity to scratch. All cats need an outlet of something appropriate to scratch, so you have to provide your cat an appropriate area to do this natural behavior. If scratching the furniture is really a problem, we offer soft claws, which is plastic nail tips which can be applied to each nail to prevent them from causing damage, as well as double-sided sticky tape, which can be applied to the furniture to keep them away from problem areas. But I find that in most cats, just trimming their nails and keeping their nails relatively short, and as well as providing a scratching post, is usually sufficient. So I find that most cats, it's really not a problem as long as you give them an appropriate outlet to scratch.
There's different studies out there, and one study actually suggested that 33% of the cats that had the declawing procedure done, they had behavior problems afterwards, including an increased frequency of biting or avoiding the litter box use. One important thing that cats will use their claws for is for stretching, because they actually stretch the muscles by hooking their claws into a surface and then stretching themselves back, and that's the only way they can stretch some of the muscles. So that's really important, and if you declaw your cat, that opportunity will be taken away. And they also use their claws for marking the territory, as well as playing and catching their prey, and sometimes they will also, their balance will be off, so when they jump on things, they might not be able to hook on, they might not be able to get away from other animals in your home, like a dog or another cat. They don't get along, or if they're outdoors, they might have a hard time escaping from potential predators and climbing trees. So sometimes people want to declaw their cats because they're afraid the cats will scratch them or bite them. So something you can do is start them as a kitten for handling. Do not play with your fingers. Use wand toys, get them used to scratchers. So one way you can make the scratch post very positive for them is if you play next to the scratch surface, because then they start to realize, oh, that actually feels nice and I want to scratch that. And it's important to place those scratchers near the cat's sleeping areas, because typically when they wake up, the first thing they will do is want to stretch and scratch. So put them next to couches you have, next to your sleeping areas, have multiple scratch trees in your home. Typically works well with the sisal type material, that's really preferred, and then they will also be deterred to scratch on your carpet. So if you're still having issues with the play therapy and putting up scratchers, we also have a product available at the EHS. It's called Soft Paws. So those are little plastic caps you can put on the claws of your cat, and I think they hold for up to 6 weeks, and then you have to change them, but that way your cat can still keep the claws, but your furniture will be safe, or other animals in the home as well.
Welcome back to the Edmonton Humane Society podcast. Throughout the episode, getting to know our brand new CEO, Miranda Jordan-Smith. We've talked about the appeal that brought you to the Edmonton Humane Society, and a lot of people don't know that you've actually been with us quite a while, going back to our old building.
Yes, that's true, Warren. I started as a volunteer at our old shelter. I used to clean kennels and bathe puppies. It was an awesome experience.
And gradually climbed the ladder from volunteer to employee, came to us as our operations director last October, now the CEO. Talk about that journey a little bit.
Sure. I was hired to manage operations last fall in October. I worked in that role until February of this year, at which point I was appointed as the acting CEO. In July, I was named the new CEO of the EHS. And again, it's just been an awesome experience, I guess, working my way through the organization from the ground to the top.
Absolutely. A very successful story, and we love sharing our success stories here at the Edmonton Humane Society, much like Miranda's, or people who come and adopt from us. And one of those stories is Kellen, who adopted a cat from us and then saw not only her health improve, but her professional life as well.
This is Pistachio, or Stashy as we call her. We got her from the Humane Society about 3 months ago. We pretty much have just loved her ever since. I have epilepsy, and by the doctor's order I had a year off work. My boyfriend he has a 6-year-old cat that also needed a friend because she had some separation anxiety. And I needed something to take care of, something to know that I had to stay strong. And so we came here, and I haven't really been a cat person, but I wasn't allowed to get a dog. And the first time I saw her, it just, it's like, she has to be mine. You knew it was the one. I have noticed that the seizures have gone down quite a bit. I feel like I want to take my medication so that I can stick around for her. And things have really gone up since I got her. She's more independent. She plays with her sister a lot, or I guess annoys her sister a lot. When you're going to bed, she makes sure that you're all tucked in. She sleeps in between me and my boyfriend until we go to sleep. She has to be under the blanket, so she doesn't want to be near you. And then when everyone's asleep, she goes to the edge of the bed so she can still see everything. And they kind of have an agreement. She stays in the bedroom, the other cat stays outside watching everything. And she doesn't go away until you're actually awake and out of bed. She loves to wake you up with kisses. And then she goes back to being independent. If she thinks I'm hurt or upset, no matter what she's doing, she always runs to see if I'm okay. She stays with me until I'm up and walking around again, and then goes back to being independent. So she really likes to help. Pretty much all the pets I've had, I've gotten from an SPCA of sorts. The biggest part of stress is you're feeling alone, and you just feel like nobody really understands. And when you go and get a pet, although they might not know what you're saying, they are a good thing to just be able to talk to, and they show you every day that they love you. So it's almost like when you think nobody else is gonna be there, they're always there.
I think one of the things I really like about the Shelter Pet Project is the idea of a forever home is real. Tucker, he was a crazy little furball, tiniest little thing. He was cross-eyed, and we fell in love. Miso, she's our little girl cat. She knows her name, and so she'll come when you call, and she's just this really sort of poised young lady. Thomas, he was just this big, orange, beautiful cat.
Thomas is kind of an old soul.
They're perfect. It sort of rounds out our whole idea of family with these guys. They completely transformed our lives. So you have like a really long day, or you have like a crummy day, and then you come home and you've got the cats that know nothing about it, frankly, and just want to enjoy your time. And there's just, I don't know, there's just something about knowing that something you saved is also sort of saving your day. I think every shelter pet requires a certain level of intention. That was the cool thing about the Humane Society, because I felt like we had to gain their trust a little bit too in all the right ways. I mean, they really wanted to know about us and our living situation. They wanted to know what we were looking for in a cat, and it wasn't simply from the standpoint that they were trying to sort of sell us a cat.
It's definitely a mission for them to make sure that the animals are well loved, and actually it's not them just making sure that they're getting cats out into the world, to make sure that they are placed with a family that fits them and can take care of them the way that they need to. The Shelter Pet Project is giving a voice to a population who doesn't have one. Everyone wants their place, and these pets are just looking for the same thing.
There are thousands of amazing shelter pets waiting to meet you. Meet yours at theshelterpetproject.org.
In Bingos with Nadine, once again, we've got a lot of products to cover. We're going to cover just about every animal, cats, rodents, and dogs, and get ready for fall. We'll start with the kittens, because you had some questions about what people could do for their kittens.
Absolutely. Kittens do teeth just like dogs do, so we got this really awesome wiggly worm. It's chewy, so the kittens will love to chew on it. It really helps those gums when those teeth are breaking out. And we also have the mint stick here as well. The teeth get stuck in these little holes there, so it feels really good on those teeth that are just popping out.
Okay, and they like mint as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to a few things for your bunny rabbit, what else? Gerbils, hamsters, all that type of stuff?
Absolutely, all the small little critters out there. So we got this really awesome tunnel. We got them all different sizes, so it's good for rabbits, guinea pigs, and even the hamsters. So it's got the fluff inside where they can make a little nest, and yeah, they just can play with it, chew on it, the whole works. It's great for everything. And we got the pizza here. Great for their teeth, so another teeth thing. And it's got rosebuds on the top there, also some vegetables, so it's really good and healthy for them as well.
Okay, so great products looking after their health and of course keeping them busy too.
Absolutely, because rodents can have not much out there for them, so this is a really cool one.
Okay, awesome. And now, even though we don't want to admit it, fall's right around the corner.
Yes,
we're going to cool down. We have some products to keep your pet warm and dry.
Yep. This is a new product. It's a Kong product, so you can trust the quality of it. It's got a harness built right in, so you can have a harness that actually you can take it all apart and just use the harness, or snap the coat on and you got a coat. So it's great for fall weather.
Yeah, if you get that rain shower going or a little bit cooler, of course, when your dog's on the walker out in the dog park.
You betcha.
Awesome. Thanks, Nadine. Come and check out all these products and more here at Bingos at the Edmonton Humane Society. You're watching the Edmonton Humane Society podcast. I'm EHS spokesperson Warren Dean. I'm here with our brand new CEO, Miranda Jordan-Smith. Miranda, let's get into things a little bit more as we sit in one of the many cat chalets here. Obviously a very busy job, but let's talk about some of your favorite aspects here at the shelter.
Sure. There are so many things that I love about the shelter environment. It's always a wonderful thing to see an animal that's brought in, go through our operation, receive medical treatment and behavior training, and then ultimately get cleared for adoption and rehomed within a loving home environment. That always warms my heart. That is what we all work so hard for. I also love seeing all of our volunteers come in. We have over 1,000 of them. They're dedicated, they're wonderful, as is our staff.
We're going to talk a little bit more coming up about some of the achievements we've had in the last little while, plus what the future holds for the Edmonton Humane Society with Miranda at the helm. Now, when you come to the Edmonton Humane Society, if you haven't been here before, of course, one of the first things we get is people are blown away by the facility that we have here in Edmonton. And one of the departments you may not know that we have is the exotics department. Bunny rabbits, snakes, lizard, chinchillas, all of those are here, and they could be part of your adoption process. This is Mariah. We're in one of the departments a lot of people don't know we have here at the Edmonton Humane Society, and that's the exotics.
Yes.
We have lots of snakes back here, which I'm surprised I'm in this room because I'm not a fan of snakes, but a lot of people are. You're a fan of snakes.
I love snakes. I think they're really great pets.
Yeah, they make good pets, and a lot of people always inquire if we have snakes available, and right now we actually have a few.
Yeah, we have quite a few. We have a couple corn snakes, and we have a boa too, which we don't usually get in, which is really nice.
And what are you holding right now?
I'm holding Benny. He's a little chinchilla. We have a couple of chinchillas up for adoption. They make really great pets. They're usually really social and good with people, good with kids, so they're definitely a good family pet to have.
What else do we have here for exotics that come through those doors?
Sometimes we get in hedgehogs, we get lizards. Right now we have a little emerald swift, which is a pretty unique find, bearded dragons, all kinds of different things.
So there's a lot of animals in here that people making for a pet, it's not the top of their mind, but all these animals make really good adoptable pets.
Yeah, they're really good. They're especially good for apartments. A lot of apartments will allow things like chinchillas and snakes, but they might not necessarily allow a cat or a dog, so it gives you the chance to be a pet owner without having to deal with all the landlord issues, for sure.
Right. And if you have any questions, come and see us.
Yeah, for sure. Come down to the shelter and visit all our exotic friends.
When you are ready to adopt a pet, whatever pet you decide to adopt, we want you to be prepared and make sure that the process goes smoothly when you're at the Edmonton Humane Society. Here's some things to help that situation.
Piece of photo ID, and if that piece of ID doesn't have a current address, bring something that does. A piece of mail, bill online, car insurance, something that has that address and your name on it. So if you are wanting to adopt a dog and you currently have a dog in the household, you have to bring that dog with you because we do require meet and greets before we can proceed with the process. As well as family members, we do like everyone in the family to meet the animal before coming in to adopt. It depends on how many adoptions we have going on. It can take anywhere, usually around from an hour to up to 3 hours. It just depends how many adoptions we have going on. Debit, credit, and cash. We do not take American Express. We only take Visa and MasterCard, and we do not accept checks for the adoptions. The dogs do not come with any leashes, collars. Try and bring your own, or we do have a store here that you can purchase them as well. And we do send the cats home in carrying boxes, or you can bring your own carriers.
We're nearing the end of this month's edition of the podcast. We're getting to know our brand new CEO, Miranda Jordan-Smith. Miranda, as we've mentioned, you went from volunteer to operations director to CEO role, which you were acting in February, took over full-time in July as it became official. Throughout that time, some great achievements have been made.
Yes, that's true. We've had some really great successes over the last short while, pushing a lot of new initiatives forward. We launched a new partnership with Pet Plan, where all of our adopted animals receive pet insurance at midnight on the day of adoption. We secured food sponsorship through Royal Canin. We had a record-breaking year at our annual Pets in the Park event. We also just recently launched a new, modern, more user-friendly website. Additionally, we've been making some significant internal system improvements that ultimately benefit our staff and subsequently the animals in our care.
Let's move ahead and look on the horizon. What does the future hold for the Edmonton Humane Society?
Well, we have a lot of things on the horizon. Most immediately, we are hiring a number of senior leadership positions where we are bringing new skills and expertise into the organization. New leaders will bring fresh ideas and will create strategies for growth and advancement. It is our goal to create a standard of excellence and best practice in the animal welfare community. We have a lot of passionate people here already with a lot of great ideas, more events and activities, new partnerships identified, new educational programs, and new ways to engage all of our community stakeholders.
Very, very busy. We like that. And of course, all these achievements, all these successes, we don't do them alone. Is there any thank yous you'd like to hand out?
Yeah, of course. I do have a lot of people to thank. Internally, our leadership team has been a huge support, and they have been co-creators of change moving forward. I'd like to thank Travis Grant, Dr. Anthea Smith, Cindy Solinsky, Deb Pope, Barry Morgan, Kristen McKenna, all of our operations and medical team, Megan, Mariah, Heather, Stephanie, Marissa, Mandy. They know who they are. All of our staff and volunteers have been amazing. I also have to thank Len Rhodes and Maureen McKay, Henry from Coventry Homes, the City of Edmonton, and all of our donors, members, and partners, and of course our media spokesperson.
Oh, hey, that's me. That's me, yeah. Of course, we have lots of things we've covered that are favorite aspects of yours, but some of the other things that are your favorite things when you come through the doors of the Edmonton Humane Society?
Well, my favorite part about coming to work every day is really the work that we do for our animals. With our mission, we fulfill a great need in our society and community. I love coming to work every day and seeing how devoted and committed our staff and volunteers are, not to mention the support that we receive from the public and our partners. And of course, I love that I can bring my dog Minnie to work every day. She keeps my feet warm at my desk.
Yes, and is a great Walmart greeter when you come to Miranda's office door as well. I want to thank Miranda for taking the time out of her very busy schedule to help us out on this edition of the podcast as well. That does it for this edition of the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get my co-host Miranda here to do some co-hosting and say some thank yous.
Sure. We do want to say thank you to all of those who do support the Edmonton Humane Society. Being a nonprofit charitable organization, we greatly depend on donor support. Please visit our website on how you can donate. We appreciate any donation, large or small.
Also, thanks to CatchCam Systems as well for sponsoring the show. CatchCam committed to sustainable development by protecting and preserving the land and water. Thanks to Evan Adnams for his technical directing time and talents to bring you this show, and to Shaw TV for airing our show at no cost. We're the only news magazine show produced by and for an animal shelter. We'll see you next time. If you want to make sure that you're up to date on everything, you follow us at our website, on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram.
These are the boys. This is our family. Well, Bosco's age was, I think, something that kept people from adopting him. You know, it's not his age, it's what the life he's got left in him, and he has so much to live for. Bobby's personality, he kind of thinks he's Mr. Big Stuff, you know, small dog, big attitude, thinks he can take on every dog in the neighborhood. Rocky here, one of his favorite things to do is dance. Dinner time, he goes Disco Dan on us. Going to a shelter today is really a nice experience. Often you can find people who behavior tested the animals. They let you know about their personality. If you have a very busy lifestyle, you like to run and jog, or if you like, you know, laid back couch potatoes, they'll match you up with a dog like that.
Well, it's not always about you.
It's about them, saving them and helping them. I like seeing an animal happy. Something so small as adopting an animal can bring such joy into your home. The nice thing about the Shelter Pet Project is anybody anywhere can search for an animal at the website. You can search by zip code, by shelter. There's tall animals, short animals, big, small, different colors, different breeds. There's a shelter pet for you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org for more information.
There are so many things that I love about Bo. My sister and I nicknamed him Mushy Mush because he literally just melts in your arms when you pick him up. Him and I are just a perfect match. We just love cuddling together. He still plays like a puppy. He has these little ways that he uses his paws that is so adorable, and his little tongue sticks out. He's to die for. He kills me. I remember the first time he entered my house, we just kind of sat there staring at each other for a second. And I was like, am I gonna be fun enough for you? I had never looked into adopting a dog before, so I didn't know what it would be like. But it was really pleasant, and it went really smooth. And they actually came out to my house just to look around and see and make sure that it was a healthy environment for the dog. And then, you know, that night they called me and they were like, okay, well, Bo's yours. They were just so kind and so great to work with. I always tell friends who are interested in getting pets that they should adopt. There's always a difference between an adopted pet and one that's not. There's a level of appreciation that your dog has when you adopt them. It's almost as if, and I truly believe that Bo knew that I saved him in some way, because there's a million animals that just need somebody to love them so much, and it just kills me that there's other Bos out there. Adopting Bo totally changed my life. My sister and I even have this joke, like, who rescued who? Truly, when he came into my life, he changed everything. Dogs have this way of when you're sad, they just know, and he just knows that perfect little nook to just curl up in when I have anxiety or I'm sad or anything. There's nothing more rewarding than building that relationship and seeing them day by day warm up to you. It's just such a beautiful connection. I just think that adoption is the only way to go.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org for more information.